All right, and we're live. Welcome, welcome. So today, after a little bit of deliberation, why isn't my bot picking up? What the heck? Bro. Did my bot die in the Discord? What happened here? I don't know. Anyway. Usually it should ping, but it's not pinging. Anyway, I apologize to anybody watching the VOD. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that be. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I'm just going to post it manually. Anyway, so today the plan is to continue working on the file uploader, which has caused us a lot of grief as of late, but that's okay. So I kind of was playing around with the user context that we were working with last stream, getting basically what that is like the user, storing the user session inside of context such that it can be shared to subcomponents, right? Okay, I don't know why Discord decided to die, but anyway. But I realized that because we already have a theme context, which I guess under the hood uses context, because when I was trying to implement this off stream, I was running into trouble. So I'm just going to leave it, I think, for now at least. So the next sort of thing is I also transferred the planning document that I had here over to a Kanban board, which is, in my opinion, a lot easier to manage than this sort of ad hoc checkbox system. So I left this here just for reference, but I kind of translated most of that over to this Kanban board, right? So the next kind of task, I think, what we're ready to do is we've got all the authentication working. So right now we have to actually get the files to show up. So I think the first task for today is to define a query to return a list of files inside a directory file, right? Inside of a given directory file, right? So the other thing is I have a priority system here. So P0 is like critical priority, like required for the app. P1 is high priority, so it would make the app kind of more complete, but it's not absolutely necessary. And then P2 is like less necessary. And then P3 is like, if I feel like I'm having fun, I can add it. It's just very optional. But yeah, it's like P0 to P3. So yeah, P0 is like absolutely necessary. P1 is definitely should add. And then P2, yeah. You get the idea. Anyway, so that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on just the file system, I think, mostly, and getting that working so that we can actually have a file structure, right? So let's just initialize all of our stuff here. So we'll do nvm use node, because for some reason my node version defaults to version 22, and I can't figure out why. I've tried to install it globally several times. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So pnpm run dev, get the dev server going, so we can have our uploader, so we can see our users authenticated. That's all good. And then we're going to display the file contents below here inside of this drive navigator. So now we need to get the Prisma Studio up and running. I think this should work, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, there's our Prisma Studio as well, so that we have we can look at the files, right? So we have a file for the root file for the user, right? So the ID of the file is CMR, but it's for, if I go to the user ID, we have dyju, and then that should match our one user, right? Yeah, dyju. So we can see that we have the user, and they have a root file that's created for them when their user instance, when they sign up, right? So if I go to here in the sign up route, you can see that code for that here within this try catch block. So we create a root folder, and then we redirect to sign in after the root folder is created. And we create a root folder for the user that is a directory, is at level 0, and has a user ID. It's tied to the user, the new user's ID, right? And then the path by default is, if we go to our schema, the default path is root as well for a file, right? So we don't have to actually add that explicitly. So let's go now to creating the logic for showing file content. So I wonder if before we do this, no, actually I think we can do it. Find, create, or return a list of files inside of a given directory. So I think before we do this, I think we should actually maybe define a couple default files underneath the root, like maybe like a documents and photos or something. Let's see, like Google Drive default files, or folders, I should say. So let's see, which folders are default? I don't need to add that many. I just want to see. There's probably a better way of doing this, right? My drive, but what's in my drive? We could do like pictures, music, videos. We could do documents. I don't know. Default folders, names. Okay, let's just do documents and photos. Okay, let's do documents, photos, and yeah, this is documents and photos. Let's just do that. So I think the first thing that I want to do as like a micro task is to abstract or pull root file system creation for new user into a utility script, right? So that's like not strictly necessary, but I'm going to do that anyway. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So if we go to our, not home, where was it defined? Sign up. We're going to do this try catch inside of a utility, right? So let's do it in our library. Let's say library, we'll make like a new folder, like file system. Sure. We'll do file system, and then we'll say create file system, or new file system. What should I call this? Create new file system .ts, or new file system, maybe new file system .ts. Okay. Then we'll do export constant. Actually, we'll just do constant new file system is an asynchronous function, which is going to take in a user ID, right? And then the type for the user ID, yo, how's it going? Vemet, welcome. Is going to be data.userid. So I don't know if I can type that. So if I import the type for the user, let's just call it a string just for now so the compiler doesn't yell at us. Well, actually, we'll call it like a init new file system. There we go. I'm doing pretty well. You know, it's a Friday, so that's nice. Don't have to worry about work. It's been really, really hot here, though. It's been kind of brutal. I haven't been able to get out much. Yo, how's it going, Bromin? Okay, so let's see. So we have our root folder. We have data user ID, and then I need to import the user type, right? So let's do import type user from generated Prisma client. And then, and this import is kind of funny, but you know, it's whatever. You should be able to do an at generated, but it doesn't work for some reason. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it. And then, so we have that user type. So we're going to say it's user dot, can I like type this? User, let's see, how do I get the, actually it might even be this. Or is it just user ID? That's it, okay, perfect. So, now we need, so we have that user ID, so we'll basically, we can just lift and shift this, I think. So, we'll say const, oh, we need to import Prisma as well. And data, okay, so the data, we need to give it the data. So we need to say await init new file. Actually, let's say const new file system is equal to await init new file system, and then we need to give it the data too, which is going to be what type? Whatever this type is. Does it have a return type, I wonder? Okay, well, it's just a return. So it's this type. Token user data is declared, yeah. So we need to pass that to this guy here. So we need to say data and then user ID. So this data type is going to be kind of right. So then we need to obviously type this. We need to if root folder. Need to redirect sign in. Okay, so let's see. Await. So we have the root folder, and then we need to create more files underneath this. I'm just thinking about how we do this sign in. So we can return a true or a false, I guess. And then handle this. I guess this return doesn't actually matter. So we can just return true if it's successful. So we'll go on and create a couple more folders. So we'll say const documents folder. Is Prisma file create, data is directory 2, path is documents levels 1, and then the user ID is the same. I don't think we need any other. Okay, so we have documents folder, and then we have, let's do a photos folder. Actually, let's just do lowercase to be consistent. Photos. And then it's also there. Okay, so now our data type is still undefined, but so we can say if root folder and documents folder. I don't know if there's a way to do this in one query. Then return true. And then, so what we'll say is we'll say new file system created. And then we'll say if new file system created, then redirect to sign in. Right? So that should be fine. I don't know why. Did the Discord ever wake up? No, it didn't. That's so strange. Interesting. Yeah, I usually have an exclamation mark live !live command that I used in my Discord to ping that I'm live, but it didn't work this time, and I don't know why. It's not a big deal. Okay. So, this should work. Is there anything in here that's broken? Oh yeah, the data type, right? So how do we get this type? Is there a way of inferring a type on this? Because I could just like copy this guy, but I don't know. So token could be null or token could be string. I see. Let's see. TypeScript, how to create type definition from variable? I don't know. This is not going to really, this is probably not the right thing to ask it. TypeScript, create type based on inferred type. Type inference. Extract type from variable, maybe. Is there a way to extract parameter types? Awaited promise. This type is mental obra. Yeah, because like I want to get this type here. I mean, I could just like copy this, but I don't know if there's like a way of doing that. Sign up email, auth.api.signup email. Better auth. That Brave search engine is kind of weak, is it? I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't give it much thought. I just use the default. I don't really think about it. Would you have another recommendation? What was I gonna look for in here? Oh yeah, the API reference. Where's the API reference? Here we go. And then I should actually. Okay, so I think I can look it up in here. Sign up email. And then does it have a return type? Okay, so it has the parameters, but it doesn't have a return type, which is stupid. Okay, these are just usages here, I think. The plugin requires Prisma user. Okay, that's not what we want. I mean, this will still work, it just won't have the right type. Sign up email return type. Try start page or DuckDuckGo. All right, sure. I think I can change that here, right? All right, let's try that out. So let's see. Better off sign up email return type. Is this gonna like? Okay, no. I don't care if it doxes my country. That doesn't matter. Sign up and sign in return types, maybe. Yeah, so token, null, or string. Okay, so this is what we want then. So I guess we can just do this then. We can say, so inside of this we can say token, string, or null. And then user is user. That should be fine. And then I don't know if this is going to be the right type, is it? Token null user ID string, image string null or undefined. Oh, of course there's a type conflict. Type undefined is not string or null. Oh, it's because of this image is the part of the problem. So the image definition inside of better auth has this stupid string or null or undefined. So I wonder if I can do. Yeah, this is kind of annoying, actually. Because here, the type for the image is string or null, but for this, it's string null or undefined, which is stupid. I don't know why there's that inconsistency, which is annoying as hell. I mean, I could just do this. This is kind of a cheat. Whoops. And then I need to import this type. Okay, that's kind of cheesy as hell, but technically it'll work. If I need to use this data thing more often, I'll probably extract this into its own type definition, but that's okay. All right, so now we have, oh, we don't even honestly need the user ID. We don't even need to explicitly give it the user ID, I don't think, because we can get that from the data. So let's just keep it simple. Okay, what's wrong here? There we go. All right. So now I wonder if this works. So let's reset everything inside of here. Let's see. Prisma reset database. Reset database data. Delete all database data. Delete all data in database. I don't know. Oh, it's defaulted back to the Brave engine. Oh well. It is what it is. I don't really care. There's got to be a way to do this, right? Because, like, I mean, there's a command. I remember Jay mentioned it. I can't remember what it was. Prisma dev remove data from our local Prisma. Okay, so let's just delete it manually. I don't really care. Okay, so let's delete this file, and we'll delete the user. Or did it do that by cascade? Oh no, it didn't. Okay. All right, so now the session should be gone. Then we should go back to sign in. Oh shit. It should redirect me, no? Oh, maybe because it's not watching in a. Yeah, it's not watching any use effect, so it's gonna break, I think. Unless. Yeah, so it's trying to read. Oh, for the drive navigator, I see. That's the problem. So if I remove this just real quick, is this? No. Okay, so that's fine. So I probably still do need to. I still need to have a use effect or something like this. I don't know. Would help you develop your way of thinking. I kind of struggle with finding solutions on my own. Honestly, this is going to sound kind of probably, I don't know, unhelpful, but I think I've been in school for a long time. I was in school for 7 years before I stopped and got a job. So I think just a lot of practice with school and like thinking of doing projects as like a set of like mini assignments where you kind of truncate. I can't even like speak English properly, but you kind of chunk problems into small, digestible sets, right? So yeah, that's kind of my recommendation. So like for example, if you're tackling a big project like this, right? I've got this Kanban, whatever it is, board with a bunch of micro tasks inside of it, right? And I also have a planner where I have like all of my dependencies. I have like a brief description of what I want to make, and then like a schema. And then I was doing this, like to-do list system, but it was kind of annoying. So I switched over to a Kanban board. And I think, again, breaking it into these smaller tasks is really the trick. And then once you have like a specific task, like right now what I'm trying to do is create the root file system when the user gets created. That's a very digestible task instead of thinking, oh, I have to make the whole app, right? It's like just a logical like mental shift that you kind of have to make, and it takes practice. I'm not gonna lie, and you have to start with like building smaller projects, practicing your ability to break down problems into smaller problems, and you'll get better and better at it as you go. Deals exactly with that, yeah. You know what's funny with that full stack is like, or zero, I don't know what to call you. The funny thing with that is I kind of learned that through my CS degree. Like I wasn't explicitly taught that, but I kind of learned that way of problem solving just because I was in school. Okay, so let's go to our sign in, and then we'll like create, oh yeah, I don't have a user account anymore. I have to, ooh, okay, so when I click the sign up now, it redirects me to sign in, which is not the behavior that we want. Why is that happening? I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna have to debug that after. So we, for some reason, can't go to sign up without it redirecting. And I wonder if that's a home issue. Oh, it might be. That actually might be a home route problem or not. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, because you're met with it daily with coding, so it becomes second nature. Yeah, exactly. And that's not to say the journey's been easy either. Like, I've been wrestling with this file creator project for probably, or file uploader, whatever this is. Like, it's like kind of like a Google Drive clone. I've been wrestling with this for the last like week, guys, and like I haven't made that much progress. I'm still like on auth stuff. Like, I mean, I'm almost done the auth stuff, but like I'm getting into the file system, but there's still hiccups, right? Like, it's not easy. Like, it's taking me about 10 hours of work, probably more than that, probably like 12 hours of work just to get to where I'm at now with this project. So yes, when I try to build something using a framework, I get overwhelmed. Yeah, dude, I feel you. Like, I totally get that, because this is my first like big full stack project, and I totally understand. Like, the way that full stack frameworks handle front end and back end as like kind of this like intermingled thing is confusing as hell. Like, believe me, I get it. And that's part of what I'm doing on stream, is like kind of wrestling through that. But yes, we do believe in you. So yeah, I need to like change the, you know, you mentioned changing the search engine. I'll look into that after stream. I'll change the default search engine. I've just been using the default because, I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't really know how they're different. Actually, I know they're different, but like I like they have different security. Like some search engines like take your data, like Google, and others don't. But like other than that, like I don't know how they're actually different with what they index. But yeah, no, you're good, man. You'll succeed, I promise. And when it comes to getting better, honestly, it's just about consistency too. Like, it's about pushing through discomfort. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you look at my last 3 streams, I'm like struggling through this project. Like, this is not easy. Like, had a lot of false starts. I've refactored the code base like twice to like fit the needs better. I've tried refactoring it a 3rd time, but then I reverted because it wasn't gonna work. So like, that's just part of the dev process, unfortunately, and the learning process. Right? So, but that's how you become a better developer, I think. And funnily enough, my last 3 streams are probably the 3 most streams that like, it's up there for like streams that I'm embarrassed by because I feel like so incompetent. But they're, funnily enough, like some of my most viewed streams. So like, I don't know what that's about. But anyway, I digress on that. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good Friday evening or Saturday morning, wherever you are in the world. Or Friday afternoon. I guess it could be Friday afternoon if you're on the west coast of North America. And also, never stop asking questions in consulting. That's a big one. The dopamine hit is great when you figure it out by yourself, but if you're stuck on something for hours or days, it's not worth it. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Zero. Like, I'm one of the few live streamers that does this thing where I like stream myself coding, because I know it's kind of a niche now on YouTube, like to be kind of like learning live and stuff like this. Friday night from Morocco, nice. Canada's playing Morocco in the round of 16, so that'll be fun. I'm from Canada, so anyway, that's like FIFA. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm one of the few streamers that actually lets chat give suggestions if I'm stuck. A lot of people like don't like backseat coding or whatever, but I actually like use chat, and I'm not saying I use chat like in a bad way, but I encourage chat to facilitate me sometimes to learn. Like, I don't want you telling me like I'm doing something wrong and like being rude about it, but if you're like, hey, I see your approach to X looks a little unideal. What if you did it like Y? I'm like, okay, that's a cool suggestion. Let's do it. So in this sense, it's kind of like a collaborative learning space, right? So like I'm kind of driving the bus, so to speak, but like you guys can like give suggestions. You can, you know, which please for roadmap to web dev. Depends where you're starting from, Pocan. All right, let's get started on this. There's something going on with the redirect to sign in, and I don't 100% know why. So if we sign out and we try to do sign up, yeah, so the sign up is redirecting to sign in. And I have a feeling it's because of this, maybe. Or, well, why would it be? Because if I like do this, actually, let's just comment this out, because I don't think that's going to actually change anything. No, yeah, so that's not the problem. Okay. So something's redirecting when I don't want it to. So if not user redirect sign in, but we don't actually have a user, so we need to sign up, right? At least I don't think we do. No. Also, the explanation there, Zero, is going to be cut off. If you want to read the full explanation, go to the very top of the description under the stream to read the full one. That's just because there's a character limit on YouTube comments, unfortunately. Okay, so there's something going on with this bug. So let's see, callback URL. Ooh, I wonder if it's this that I need to get rid of. Does that fix my problem? No. So the callback URL doesn't affect anything. Is there something in the navigation? I don't know. Yeah, it's just sometimes that's the way it goes. I don't know what broke this. Reboot dev server? Okay, so the first problem is that we're getting, okay, so we got the sign up there. So we can go to the sign up once, but then it doesn't let us leave the sign in page, which is interesting. And there's probably logic in here that I'm missing. If sign in navigating, sign in validator. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. So I think I do need a use effect in here. So I'll re-implement that anyway. And then we'll say const, let's just say const user. Or let user. And then we'll say, actually no. We need to have it as a state, I think. So we need to do const user, set user, use state, user or null as null. Okay. And then we'll say, put this inside here. Loaded user. Say loaded user. And then we're probably going to get a not using. So we'll say if loaded user, then and loading and not loading. Or and loading, I guess, actually. Then set user to loaded user. Okay, what's the problem with this guy? Does not exist on type user. Oh, I see. So we can do const user. It says as an object, right? Okay. This is kind of confusing. Okay, let's just rename this to auth user. Set auth user. And then we also need to set loading to false. Right? So now if we go home, redirects us to sign in. And if we try to go to the home directory here, okay, it just stays on loading forever. Interesting. Huh. Oh, this would be auth user domain as well. So this will persist. I'm not sure. So if user's defined, so the user data, so obviously it's not getting a user, but it's not redirecting us to sign in either. So I don't know if this loader, like what's going on with this loader here. Oh, because maybe it's not being set. Auth user loading. I need these dependencies maybe. And then this also needs to be an async function. So we'll say const get user, get auth user, async. I think it needs to be something like this, and then you need to put this pattern inside of here, and then you need to call get auth user. Something like that, right? I don't know. Okay, but we're still not obviously getting a user here. Console.log. I wonder if this is an infinite loop. User. The new file button, tx is requested module. Oh, is that part of it? No, let's just remove that then. Does not provide an export. Oh, because of, okay, so that's not. That was when we were trying to do this. That's fine. Okay. All right, so it's undefined. So the user is undefined, which you can see here. So if we even did like user, yeah, so it's undefined. So it can't get the user for some reason. And I wonder if that's because the loader data needs to be at the top level. So let's do that then. Let's say const user, and then if user and loading. Actually, let's do it like this. So let's kill the dev server for a second, just to prevent any infinite loops. So we'll say if the user is defined, then we, yeah, so we do set. And then we do if loading, then set auth user, and then if it's not, then we redirect to sign in. Actually, no, that's if that's otherwise. Bear with me here, guys. Redirect sign in. Oops. Redirect sign in, and then if user. What do I need if the user exists, and then if, maybe I don't actually. Maybe I can just do it like this. Set auth user to user, and set loading to false. Okay, so that doesn't, Oh, because it's not on. Okay. So still perpetually loading, because I think loading is true, but user's not defined, right? But it's not redirecting us either, which I find interesting. And the signup's redirecting us back to the root, which for some reason, that's very odd. This is just the DevTools thing, yeah. It doesn't like the DevTools for some reason. Man, okay. Set loading, so if loading, return this, otherwise return that. So I don't know what the problem is with this. I want this to be in curly braces. I don't know why it isn't. There we go. It's definitely something stupid. Yeah, exactly. I've had multiple problems with this app for whatever reason. I don't know. Like, I still am not, I'm going to be fully real with you. I still fully don't understand how the loader and the action works. Like, I get that this is kind of like a GET request and then that the action's kind of like a POST request, but it still doesn't fully, I still don't fully understand. So basically the idea here is to, so we have the user. And then, like, what if we console log the user? Let's see what's going on there. So the user's undefined, and we should be getting it from the loader data. And that makes sense because it makes sense that the user's undefined because we don't have a user that exists, right? But it's not redirecting us to sign in, which I don't understand why that's happening. So what if we did the console log up here? Like, is this code even running? Right? Yeah, so it is running. Because this is server side, right? So here's our server, user undefined. But if not user, then redirect to sign in. Does redirect, what's wrong with redirect? This redirect isn't calling, maybe. Like, what if I put a console log in here? Oh, because maybe it's not console log no user, right? Yeah, so there's no user and then it's not redirecting. What if I return the redirect? There we go. Okay, that fixed it. So now if we try to go back home, it'll redirect us to sign in. That's good. And then sign up. Okay, so that fixed the home problem. But now we're going to get, and I'll just leave the no user in there because that's fine. No user authorized. Something? I don't know. So now if we try to go home, there we go. Glad to be your rubber duck. Well, I appreciate you in here, Zero. I appreciate the support. Okay, so we're not using these name, email, password states. That doesn't really matter, does it? Or can I get rid of them? I don't know. I won't refactor it until it's const data. So there's something redirecting here to sign in when I try to go to the sign up route, right? Oh, that worked for some reason. What the fuck? Uncaught. Reference error. Buffer is not defined. Where is that happening? Oh god. I don't know. Many problems. Okay, so the sign up page all of a sudden decided to work. But if I go to sign up, oh, so is it a link problem? I wonder if the nav is fucked up. You know what? The nav might be wrong. Hold on. Our nav might be screwed up. Okay, link to sign up. That's the text sign up. Sign in. Like, okay, so like, maybe it's the link. Navigation menu link. href sign up. Yeah. So what's the deal here? So that should be taking us to the sign up page, but it doesn't even seem to work. Because if I type in the sign up page manually, it works just fine. But I wonder why. I don't know, man. Oh, but you know what it is? Oh, I know what the problem is. Because we have fucking Bitwarden on here again. I think if we turn Bitwarden off, it'll maybe work. So let's go back home, sign up. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. Well, that was wishful thinking. But that did fix that problem. Yeah, so it's taking us to sign in still. Okay. Check the event listener. Yeah. So this is the nav link here on our navigation bar. But I'm wondering if, like, where the event listener, like, because there's not, how do I even get the event out of here? Or out of this one, I should say. Like, so if we do on click, let's just do like something dumb. Test, right? And that'll be client side, so it'll be in here. Okay, so it is running, and then it's redirecting. So I think the actual page is loading, and then it's redirecting to sign in. I think that's our problem. Do I have React DevTools? I should. I don't remember how to activate it though. Because this is React Router, so I don't know if it'll be different or React DevTools. Where the hell would it be? Would it be in this menu? Oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe it'd be under sources or something. Or, I don't know. Let's see. React Dev Tools. I should have this. Oh yeah, so I do. Oh, or is it just an extension? There it is. Components is active. Was it somewhere in here? Ah, here. Ah, okay. I got you. 0. Okay. So we have our nav bar. Holy Christ. So that's the wrong link. Okay, so that's our link. Area current undefined. Sign up. /sign up. Style undefined. Hey, I've completed CS50X now. What should I do next? Depends where you want to go, Varen. But what is CS50 again? Is it just like basic data structures and algorithms and like basic programming stuff? Basic CS theory? I forget what it is. So I think what's happening here is it's redirecting to sign in. I think that's the problem. I think it's redirecting to sign in. Harvard's course? Yeah, but I don't know what the curriculum is. Yeah, so there's something that's tripping up and causing a redirect, but I can't, honest to God, find where it is. Okay, so sign in, on click, navigate to sign in. If we click on the sign up, but it's not even letting us do that, so that's not the problem. I wonder if the form. No, it says submit, and then do we have a custom submit function? No. So that should just work from this action. Let's just see if this action's even like being called. Because I genuinely don't know. Doesn't seem like it. This is the same DevTools error from before. So natural thing would be to check sign-in rendering and whether there's any logic that would reroute to use sign up involuntarily. It's the other way around, Zero, but yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. That's the current. See, I wonder if there's this callback URL situation. But I can't honestly see what would be the problem. So if we go to sign in, there's nothing in sign in. Auth sign in, on submit, no. Because this is that little blue text here, so this is fine. Because I haven't changed anything. Basic introduction to CS, 7-8 week long course. I guess they teach you programming basics. I got you. That's what I thought, Bulentil, but I wasn't sure. So what do you want to do now? Oh yeah, sorry, you're asking. Okay, hold on. So I wonder if it is this init file system, because it's the only thing I changed. Fail to create root folder for name user.name. Data.user.name. Data.user.name. Okay, that's one thing. I just don't know why the nav is being triggered like that. Because if I go to the URL manually, it works. Buffer in Prisma. I have a feeling there's something in here that's not defined anymore and just causing trouble. Like, are we using anything anywhere that's causing problems? Import data from React Router. Why am I doing that? I don't think I need this. Or do I? I'm going to get rid of all these stale imports here. I don't think that's going to cause any difference, but so name, email, confirm password, yeah, because it's not even giving us the, okay, so let's just try signing up here. Interesting. So I tried to sign up and then something happened here. No route matches URL. Oh, that's the DevTools. Okay, so why didn't it sign up? Okay, so now the navigation works. I don't know what I did. But the sign up, did it create a user? I have a feeling, okay, so I have a feeling it might be an uncaught error somewhere. Let's see if a user was actually created. Yeah, so a user was created. Were there files created? There were. Then why didn't it redirect properly? So here's my files. So I've got the root, documents, photos. Then we have a user. But it didn't redirect us to sign in, so that's so weird. See, I don't know what's going on with that. If new file system created, true response or undefined. Okay. Maybe just we redirect? I don't know, that's kind of risky. Let's try this one more time. There's definitely something wrong here. So let's delete the user and delete the files again. Wait, why did it fail? Delete from, why? Oh, because there was a foreign key dependency with the files, I think. That's why. Okay, that's the problem. Okay. So now there's no user. Home should take us to sign in, which is good. We go to sign up. Okay. So now I'm not having that problem. I don't know what the fuck, what was the issue there. So now if I go user at example.com, oops. Okay, so it's not redirecting me. So that's interesting. Wait, and if did I even import redirects? Yeah. So there's something going on with the redirect to the router, right? There's something fishy going on with that. Is there something going on with the routes? No. Routes home. That's so strange, man. Let's try logging in then. Okay, so that did work. So we have our user. I just don't know why after sign up it's not navigating to sign in, because it should be. Redirect sign in. I can't really use a navigator because that's within this context, within the component. So I don't know. Script tag is flashing. Yeah. I don't know what's in here. Something with React router. I don't know what this code's doing necessarily. Something with the session, I think. So if I sign out, and then I go back to, so I can go there, user at example.com. Okay, that worked. I don't know what was the problem then. But if I create a new user, then maybe it's, I don't know. Let's see. User2 at example.com. I also have to feed my cat in a second. So if this doesn't work, I don't know. Yeah, so something with the key, something maybe it's because it's already, oh, because I'm already signed, oh. So if I sign out, okay, so that's good. So it does de-authenticate me. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that. Cat on stream when? I don't know. He's kind of shy. So that should have created a user. I just don't know why this sign up. There's something really wrong with the sign up. And I think it's because of this new file system. Create this init new file system as an external function. I think that's the problem. So maybe I'll do another refactor and see if that fixes it. Because I think there's something fishy going on with that. So there should be 2 users in here now, yeah, and then 6 files, right? Yeah, okay, good. So maybe there's something, I don't know, I genuinely don't have a clue, being fully real. Right? Alright, so I'm going to go real fast and feed my cat, and I'll be right back. So stay tuned and hang tight. All right, I'm back. He is eating turkey, duck, and quail egg. It's very disgusting, but it's good for him. So anyway, all right. I don't know what the hell is going on with this. So I wonder if it's because, so we return a promise, and then I wonder if I need to, so we await this, right? And then this redirect is not, maybe this needs to be, like I need to return it, perhaps? Did I hear cat stream? I don't know. Well, I just had to feed him because we were trying to feed him later so that he gets us up, because he's been getting us up like at stupid hours in the morning. So we're trying to feed him, like, fed him eggs. Yeah, well, not really. It's turkey, or it's turkey, duck, and quail egg, all in like a mush. Like, you know, it's like wet food. But yeah, no. So we were feeding him at like 5, which was a bad thing because he was getting us up, you know, in the morning, like 4:30 in the morning. So we're like, okay, let's try feeding him later. So we've been trying to feed him around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it has helped a little bit. But yesterday he got us up at 5:30 anyway because he just decided that he wanted to. So can't really win with the cat, but you know, it is what it is. Mine's rapid mode from 5 a.m. Yeah. He's not even that he's like hyper. He just like wants food, right? He's just hungry. And I mean, our cat is a big cat, so I don't know. But anyway, I digress on the cat issue. Okay, so if we return the redirect, I wonder if that actually fixes the problem. So let's go to sign up a user again. Should have like a pre-fill for this, but it's okay. So now if I sign up, there we go. Okay, so that was the issue. I needed to return the redirect. Then user@example.com. And then if I sign in, then we go welcome user, and then we should see in here, my dog's snoring on our bed at 5 a.m. Yeah. Okay, so we have our files. Sick. Okay, so now that we have I'm so sick of auth, it's not even funny. Okay, so let's try now to, let's see if I have, right now I'm having burnout learning coding. Any advice? Honestly, like, I wouldn't let yourself, like, take a break first of all. Yeah, we finally move on, yeah. Well, we're probably going to come back to it 0, just you wait. But don't take too long of a break idle, but maybe not force yourself, but like if you have it in you to do like literally 10 minutes of coding, just do like 10 minutes of coding a day. And then like, then you're making progress. But if you really hate it, like don't do it, you know what I mean? Like take a long break and then come back to it. But even if you make a little bit of progress each day, it's helpful. Slow and smooth, slow is smooth is fast. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah. Like let me tell you this as a little anecdote before I get into this. So this is done. So pull root file system creation from a new user into utility script. That's finished. I was just gonna say, don't just try to do it. Try to understand it. What do you mean? Anyway, I was going to get into an anecdote. So I graduated with my CS degree, June of 2025, and then I got a job right out of school in IT, and I didn't code for 6 months because I was sick of coding, because school like took it out of me. So you know, like that happens sometimes, right? But then I decided to get back into it with this YouTube channel, and that's exactly why I created the YouTube channel, was to hold myself accountable. So like for me, that's been the thing that's worked for me is to have this YouTube channel and to share my progress. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thing. Is making a little bit of progress, and also maybe even having like a way of holding yourself accountable. You can. Do you think it's still worth it graduating, by the way? You have to decide for yourself whether it's worth it, but I think it's worth it for me. And I believe that if you have a passion for learning and programming and software development, that it is worth it. But you have to decide for yourself whether it's worth it or not at the end of the day. So anyway. I don't know why this is like weirdly, why there's padding on this. I don't know. Anyway, it's not a big deal. So define a query to return a list of files inside a given directory file. Okay, so that's the next step, right? TBH school will discipline you and teach you stuff. No course will. Yeah, that's also true. Like the thing is you need to have, yeah, like a accountability network. The other thing too is, well, yeah, an accountability network. I guess school serves as that. A lot of redundant stuff. Yeah, that's also true. School is also not reflective of actual web dev. Like I didn't learn a single bit of web dev in my degree. Now that might not be true at every school, but at mine I didn't learn any. So. I still have passion, but the feeling that there are sometimes I'm feeling like quitting. Yeah, I get what you mean. Idle, I think again, it's just something that you got to try out for and see whether you enjoy coding. Like, because if you don't enjoy coding, then don't. But if you enjoy it genuinely and you want to motivate yourself to code more, then I think again having that accountability network and kind of holding yourself accountable and making consistent progress kind of goes a long way. But again, if you need a break, then take a break. Okay, so we have our user here, and then we can basically, what we're going to do, we're going to pass the user context to these guys. So now we should get this. Okay, that's good. Enjoying the code really takes time. Yeah, it does. I still have, I'm going to be fully real with you guys, like full transparency. I have like about probably half the streams I do, I don't feel like doing it. Like, but I show up to stream anyway, and I get into it, right? Like once I'm into it and I've started working, I feel like better, But like thinking about having to stream sometimes, I'm like, oh, like I don't feel like doing it, but you just gotta do it, I guess. And that's not to say never take a break, because like if you're really not feeling it, like I'll cancel stream or something like that, or if something happens, I'll cancel stream. But it's like not dramatically not feeling like it. Yeah, at some point it becomes like a toxic relationship. First step is the hardest. Yeah. It's like, and again, if you really hate it, like it's a level of like how much you don't feel like it. Like for me, like I don't feel like streaming sometimes a little bit. Like if it was ever to the point where like I was hating it every single time, then I would reevaluate what I'm doing here. But I'm not. So, that's kind of that, I guess. Okay, so that's good. So no user authorized, good, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, there were a bunch of errors down here that I wasn't even seeing. That probably was part of the problem. P2003, I feel like this was something that we were getting before. Prisma file create invocation. Because I was trying to create it multiple times, that's why. Okay. Because this thing wasn't redirecting, so that's fine. Thanks a lot, bro. You made me decide in a positive way. God bless. Well, I appreciate that, Idle. You can follow along on my streams too if you want like an accountability partner. Like you could use my streams like as a way to motivate yourself as well. Like that I would encourage that if that works for you. So what keeps me on track? Like I think for me, there's two things. One, the community that I've built up, and I want to deliver for the community and be here as a positive force in the software development space, I guess. That's one thing. And the other thing as far as like project stuff is I don't worry about making a shit ton of progress every stream. Like if I only make like a little bit of progress, so be it. It was more important to show up and to chat to stream and maybe learn something, right? And the other thing too is project planning. I can't emphasize this enough. Like for big enough projects, like this isn't perfect. I haven't nailed this down exactly, but like I've got this Kanban board with all of my micro tasks, and like this system, and even before I was doing a to-do list, but it's kind of messy. But having a project plan and like a kind of an idea of where you want it to go is really important. So like right now I'm going to work on defining a query to return a list of files. So we basically have, how we set it up is we, wait, that's not it. Where is it? In our library, our init new file system. So we create a root folder for the user at level 0, and then we have a documents folder and a photos folder inside of that, just as like a default, right? So we have those 3 folders, and then the other thing is we have to, I want to query such that we can display them, right? And that's going to be inside of our Drive navigator. which is like a subcomponent of the home page, right? So that's inside of our components here. So right now, all we're literally doing is printing out the username, which is right here, right? But what we need to do is we need to have a query or like a loader. I guess it would be a loader, right? It'd be a server-side loader. But I don't know how to then to include multiple arguments. Like if I get loader data, then I don't know how to do that. Because if I need to pass in the user and loader data, I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, infrastructure looks scary. Like mine specifically, or just in general? Because like, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Bullentil, this is like my first full stack attempt, right? Looks clean and arranged. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Like again, and that's the thing, as you do more projects, you get better and better, right? So like this project, I'm going to look back on this in like a year, and it's going to be like, what the hell was I thinking, right? But that's just part of it. And like, I've done enough stuff in my life to know that, I think, maybe. You know, this is part of the iteration. Okay, so we need a loader. So I'm going to get up the React router documentation here. So data loading. So is it going to be a client loader or a server? I think it's going to be server loading. But then we need to get, so we'll get loader data from React route.component props. And then the user as well. But I don't know if I can have it multiple on like different objects like that though. That's the thing. So I'm trying to debate how to do this. I wonder if I do loader, so let's like define a loader up here. So let's say export const loader equals async. And then loader, oh, it's params, I guess, maybe. Route dot loader args. And then the route we need to get from home, I think. Oh wait, that's not what we want. That's not route, sorry, is it? Yeah, it is, okay. And then this is as a type. So from home. And then we need to get the stuff, right? We also need to import Prisma, I think, as well for the, like, is that what we had? Yeah. Lib Prisma. WebDev kind of, now go over here on your system structure is amazing. It just looks complicated. Yeah, it is complicated. It's fully complicated, Bullentil. WebDev kind of scares me. It's just too many complex things. Yeah, it totally is. And that's part of what you're signing up for, unfortunately. That's the other thing Zero mentioned. You don't need to know all of it. You can just pick like a corner of it and just learn that, right? You don't have to know every single thing. So this loader is kind of like a get request, right? So what we're going to do here is now we need to get this loader stuff inside of here. So we'll say loader data. And then user, and then loader data is going to be route dot component props, right? I think that works just fine. And then what we can do is we can get the data. So we can say const let's just get like the, I don't know. We'll figure that out after. So let's write the query first. So inside of here, we're going to need to do that query, right? So we're going to say const, what do we even get back? Like all the subfolders inside of here. Oh, but you know what, actually? You know what's interesting about this? Is, do we even need to store, if we have a path, wait, hold on. If we have a path, we don't even need to store the subfiles, right? Is directory path updated at, okay, so that's what we need. So we need to get all of the sub, that's interesting. So let's just write a query to get everything in the root directory, which is going to be interesting. All right, so I might even need to make a separate a separate function for this, right? Without even needing the Prisma. So I might use, so we have a init new file system, and then we can do, we'll do a get files in directory.ts. So we'll say const get files in directory. I'm just going to do this in a separate function. It's going to be asynced as well. This is pretty freaking difficult, guys. Export default, get files, directory. And then we're going to need to import Prisma. Import Prisma. And so we'll write the query in there and then run it from inside of the loader, right? So we need a directory, actually. So we need a directory. So we're going to do a directory as type, or a path, I guess. Directory, actually, yeah. So we'll do directory as type file, which is from the generated client, and then file path, right? Final goal is full stack, but currently focused on front end. Yeah, I focused on front end too for a lot of it, Zero. Start to build ASAP. I swear to God, when you get your hands on a project, you learn 10 times faster. Yeah, absolutely. I started with backend, Java Spring Boot, and hated it. I just hated enterprise software. Yeah. At my job, I work with, we work in the Microsoft ecosystem, and I 100% agree with that. It's dog shit. But you know what? You do what you need to do to put food on the table, right? So anyway, so we have our directory, right? So the first thing we should do is get the file. So we could say const file directory. Or actually, no. I guess we'd be returning a file, right? So you say const file is equal to prisma dot query. Or wait, what was the oh wait, prisma.file. Prisma.file dot find first. And then we need the argument. So we need to go to Prisma's documentation now. Because now I'm like lost on how to do the queries. Postgres, no. Database, no. Give me query stuff, man. Queries, ORM. Here we go. This is what we want. Type safety, queries. There we go. CRUD. So record by ID or unique field. Okay, so where path, right? So we're going to say where. So this needs to be like this, and then where path. Path is directory, right? What would be returned from this? File is declared, but its value is never read. Okay, that's fine. So I think that's right. So that's fine. So we get our file. So the first thing we need to do is we need to check if the file and if file dot is directory. Is directory? Yeah, is directory. Actually, we'll say we can do it like this. We can say if not file or not file dot is directory, then we need to return, right? So we can return a new response. I guess this would be a response, right? And then I'm going to say file or path given is not a directory or something like this. I don't know if this is exactly the right paradigm here. Imagine people coming up to you and criticizing you just because you use poop.js instead of shit.js. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much what it is. Microsoft ecosystem more like a swamp. It totally 100% is. It's a swamp full of snakes. All right, let's say path directory is not a directory, right? And then we'll do a status 401. I think 401 is the right code. HTTP status codes. I hate this Brave bot thing. It's kind of annoying. 400s, 401 unauthorized, bad requests. I think it would just be 400, right? Yeah, 400. Okay, so I think this is the right way of doing this. I'm not 100% sure here. But I guess we'll find out. Why is there an error in here? Oh, because it's missing. It needs the loader data. Fuck's sake. I don't know how to include extra props with the loader data. I'll figure that out after. Do you actually laugh nice? Yeah. Nice. I'm just a chill guy who uses Python. That's, hey, I respect that. I respect that quite a bit. Okay, so we have our file. So now this is assuming that the file is a directory and that it exists, right? So that's kind of this error checking that we're doing here. And I might even want to try catch this as well. Try catch. Just in case of anything going wrong, right? And again, so we'll try this now, and then if catch console.error, error, and then how have I been doing this up to this point? Yeah, so then we'll just return this. So failed to get files in folder, in directory, at dir, something like this. That's fine. Okay. I don't know, man. It just makes me feel guilty when I see using tons of frameworks and libraries. I work with data and AI, so it does the job. Yeah, that's actually... I do like how clean it can be sometimes, like Python. Like I mean, it's not as clusterfucked as JavaScript. That's for damn sure. But don't feel guilty at all, because this is like its own headache and a half. So if you're just like happy in Python data science land, like stay there if you're chill with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Okay. So what do we want to do next? So now we want to get we want to write another, because we're going to get a bunch here, right? So I want to get a bunch, because we're going to need, not file, but find many. So we're going to say const files is Prisma. And I wonder then if this is just file that is directory is not existent type file client number is directory boolean. Oh, because maybe I do need to do this like this, right? I don't know. What even is on the file? Is directory boolean? Oh, Prisma file client. File dot what then? Oh, I see. It's given us a dot user dot. What the fuck? So the file is a file client with all of these things inside of it, but I don't know why this isn't just giving us a file, right? I don't know. Should also say does not exist. Because I don't know, like, if to return this into a. Okay, let's do Prisma dot file dot. So it is file in the schema, right? Yeah, it is file. Okay. Dot find many. And then where. And then I need to use a. regex, I think. Because we need to have the... I need to have the... Yeah. Name, Prisma migrations. Prisma regex. Relation queries. No, that's not what we want. Regex. Is there anything with regex in here? No, it's not going to do. I always thought that milliseconds didn't matter and that people could just use Python for web dev, but when you're working on something big, it really needs to be fast. Yeah, exactly. Prisma regex search. I don't know how to do this. Something I've never done either. Maybe not. Because I want to get just the... Like you have to use raw SQL if you want regex. Oh, really? Good point. Okay, so maybe I do have to do that. That's a good point, 0. I may need to. Well, because the thing is I want to get paths that start with the directory, right? Like the path. And then have like either alphabetical characters or numbers or underscores and then not another, because I don't want to get all subdirectories, right? At least I want to just get... Oh, actually, you know what I can do? No. Because we have a level, right? We have a level. So we can just say end level is equal to... Yeah, so never mind. We're good. We actually don't need... we don't need it. We'll do that after the break. So basically what we can do essentially is we can say path where path starts with, right? So we can do like a starts with. I think there's starts with in here, right? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Dude. Starts with. That's it. Okay. And then it'd be inside of here. Starts with, and then dir, right? And then the other thing we need too is the level is file dot level +1, right? Or something like that. So it's just one file level above. How's it going, Catan? Anyway, I think it's going to be something like this, right? Where we get the path that starts with the directory and the level is the current file's level +1. Again, I don't know if this works or not. Actually, let's say, we can probably extract const level sub level equals file.level +1, right? And then we can just say file, or just sublevel. There we go. Something like that. Dot is directory. Okay. There. I know I shouldn't be coding on the break, but I just wanted to finish up that thought. But, you know, it's not really strict. I'm not super strict about the breaks here, but, you know, it is what it is. I might even need to do an equals for this, actually. There, something like this. I'm going to rename this to like something else. Maybe like subfiles or something like that. So yeah. Reading docs is a huge skill, by the way, but it does slow you down. But does it slow you down? Yeah, it does. I'm gonna agree. Like a lot of this, like guys, like I am building software at like a snail's pace compared to like, well, not only people that are like vibe coding, but like people that are just know what they're doing. But that's also just part of it, right? That's part of learning. But yeah, no, it's a good skill because as you iterate and do it more and more, you'll get better and better, right? But yeah, no, it depends what you're looking. That's a fair point, Catan. Yeah, if you know what you're looking for, then yeah, it's not. But like sometimes I get stuck. So, and you're gonna get stuck ultimately at the end of the day. Like it's just the reality, unfortunately. So I'm gonna probably go for one or two more Pomodoros. I might end it after the next one in case I might be needed in real life. Unfortunately, we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. I just was asking if I'm needed, but if I am, then I'll do one more Pomo session, and if I'm not, then I'll do two more. So I guess that's pending on that. Because I usually like to do 2.5 hour long streams, but if I can only do 2 hours, then it is what it is, I guess. Life gets in the way sometimes. Not even in a bad way. That's just the reality of it. But I'll go for at least another 25 minutes. Keep the momentum going here. I kind of want to get this thing working. This micro task here. This define query to return a list of files. I kind of want to get that working so that I can move on. But we'll see. Do I have a streaming routine? Yeah. So on my Discord, Catan, I choose 5 days out of the week that I stream. 5. I try to aim for 5. Sometimes I only stream 4 times or 3 times, depending on how busy I am. But I aim to stream 5 days a week. The days that I actually stream changes. But I release a schedule weekly, and I set a weekly schedule. So it just depends on like my girlfriend's work schedule. It depends on whether we have any events planned. Like there's stuff I can't really plan for, so like that far in advance. So it just depends on different things. But yeah, I try to fit in 5 a week, and then mostly on weeknights I stream like 7 p.m. like Eastern Standard, like I'm streaming now. And then if it's the weekend, then usually or sometimes I'll stream in the afternoon too. Or sometimes in the morning as well, afternoon or morning. So it kind of changes. Okay, so this is like good, I think. So then we have our files. So we'll call this like sub files. And we'll say if sub file. Actually, we can just return it. Return sub files. Right? And then whatever we get from this is what we get. So. All right, now I'm still not 100% sure why this isn't working. Property file does not exist on type Prisma file client level. Number. Because it should get a record, right? Created at date. Or do I have to give it a self-reference? I don't know, that's so confusing. No. Const user. Unless I need to do like this, but then it causes trouble with these Prisma file client level number ID string. Prisma.file client. Like I don't know what's going on with this. Because I've never used an ORM before, guys. That's the other thing. I've never used an ORM, so that's the other question mark with this. Oh, I wonder, is it because, no, because it's not. Oh, do I need to do a select? I need to give it a select, do I? No. That means the column doesn't exist? Yeah, well, so it does exist, but I'm using an ORM, right? Which, like, so you can think of an ORM as like an abstraction above SQL, right? So you have SQL in your database. Like I have a Postgres database, right? And then I have this thing called Prisma that sits on top of the database and manages it using, and it's supposed to make doing queries easier, but it actually makes it harder, at least in my experience. But it's useful, I guess, later down the road if you want to do database migrations and stuff like this. Like it kind of automates a lot of database config stuff, but sometimes like there are these implicit types that come with this that are confusing. Like it has this Prisma file client type, so I can't really access attributes of whatever's returned from here, right? Which is kind of weird. I don't understand exactly what to do about that. That's been my experience with ORMs as well, yeah. And this is like my first project where I've like done a full, like actual like legit app with an ORM. So I'm just trying to like, my other strategy when I'm stuck is to just copy paste the linting, like whatever the TypeScript error, and then just see if there's anything that comes up. So I wonder if I have to like explicitly select it. I don't think I have to though. I tried everything before installing Prisma client, recreating the migration. I wonder if I need to recreate the migration. But I shouldn't have to because the typing is there. Like you can see the type, like the level attributes here. It's just wrapped inside of this Prisma file client type, which I'm confused about. I usually use AI to understand errors. Yeah, I guess I'm just hardcore like that. I don't use it. I don't use AI. Type. I wonder then actually if this would be from the, if there's even a server, unless, no. Declare property, add all missing members. No, that's not what I want. Introduction to Prisma client. So we have all the Prisma client stuff, but I don't know what the type is doing. I mean, I could try doing another migration, or generation. So what was it? PNPX Prisma. Actually, I should probably kill the server before I do this. PNPM Prisma generate, right? Oops, the fuck. Okay, so that generated it. And PNPX Prisma DB push. It's already in sync. Okay. Because it is here. Like you have the right stuff. Yeah, using AI to learn something really dulled my ability to actually search. Yeah, that's precisely why I don't use it. Lentil. That's exactly why I don't use it. I don't want my critical thinking skills to be softened, I guess. And that's not to, say, you shouldn't ever use it. It's just a personal preference, really. Do I need to migrate it? I wonder. I don't think so, though. The database is already in sync. Yeah, of course it is, because it's here. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I can type it like this. We have our file type. Oh, it does not match. Can I cast this? Ooh, it doesn't like that either. Okay. I can't just do that. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just see if this works. Because sometimes TypeScript is finicky, and let's see if it even fucking works. Because it might not, maybe, I don't know. Because it's just like typing problems. And I don't know, like maybe these fields are attainable, or maybe they're not. So actually, you know what we could do before we do any of this? Is we could do an early return. And then we could just console.log file. Right? And then we can just see what's returned here. And then so in the loader, I can say const, or I can just do it in await on the get files and directory, right? Oh, and then I need to give it a dir, right? So the params would be in the let's just do root. Let's just pass the root in there. But the params would be from the the URI, right? So that's where that would be getting it from. So the way I use it to learn and understand the error, and then I use search to find solutions to it. I sometimes find that errors are poorly written, seem more complicated than they actually are. That's fair. That's a valid use. Oh yeah, because I killed the server. Hold on. That's part of the problem. Okay. Ooh. Have we been authenticated? I guess not. Okay, so then we broke it somehow. I don't know what happened. Just by trying to get the files in the directory, we busted it. Oh, maybe because loader data is missing. Yeah. Because we don't define loader data. So this was another issue that I was having. So to use a loader inside of React Router, you basically have to import the loader data as a prop, right? But I don't know how to import multiple like, I don't know if I can import more than just the loader data, which is what I tried to do here. Oh, but maybe it's because I'm not accessing the loader data. Like, I don't know, something like this. I don't know if that fixes it. Probably not. I doubt it anyway. I think it's probably going to still yell at me. No. It's probably, yeah. It's probably still giving me troubles. Okay. So yeah, that doesn't matter. 'Cause we're still gonna have this error because, okay. So let's add a couple of sub problems. So we're gonna say fix, or see if other props can be loaded into a component that are not from the loader. And now I wonder if this loader issue as well is because you can't use, I wonder if you can't use loaders inside of subcomponents. That might also be true because this drive navigator isn't a route in itself. The home is the route, right? So I wonder if that's also the problem. Right? Like, I don't know. Because that also could be part of it. So what we might actually have to do is get the files inside of... Yeah, we might need to do that. So how much longer is your web dev learning process going to take? I have no idea, but I'm anticipating at least another 6 to 9 months. So life probably, yeah. Well, I mean, you're always learning, but I mean for this particular YouTube thing, I want to keep doing web dev streams for another 6 to 9 months. 6 to 9 months. Yeah, I have a rough roadmap in my head. I don't want to reveal too much because that'll be like spoilers, but yeah, the idea is to finish the Odin project thing, which is where I got this idea for the file uploader, and then to continue on from there. So I have a suspicion that we can't use loaders in subcomponents. So let's work off of that assumption. So let's say user and then files. And then we'll pass in the list of files. Is just file. And then how do we have this? Oh, file, and then I need to import that as a type. Import type file from Prisma client, right? Yeah, okay, that's the file I want to be using. And I don't need this. And I don't need this. And then, okay, so that's fine. All right. And then let's go to our home here, and then we'll do files. We'll actually get the files as well. Which we might also need another fucking... Because we have our loader, but I can't have multiple loaders. Or do I just have to do everything inside of here? All right, and then let's do the files then. Consts Well, actually, let's just await this. Let's kill the drive navigator for now. That's fine. We don't need it for this second. Await get files in directory, and then just the root directory. I just want to see if anything happens. Okay, so we got something. So we got a promise. That's good. So we did get something from this. Request transaction. Ah, so maybe that's why this isn't working, because we're getting like a promise. What if we just return file and then we print that in here? Console.log it. Because the file, yeah, so that's fine. And then so we're gonna, did we await that though? Await it. That's why it wasn't working. I needed to await this, I think, right? Await Prisma file? Yeah, of course, I needed to await it. That's stupid. Okay, so now if we return file and then we save this, there's our file. Okay, sick. All right, so we're putting things together here. So now if we go to, let's get rid of this early return. File dot level. Okay, so that's still not. Oh, because it's possibly null. Okay, so you know what we'll do is we need to put this sub thing up here. There we go. So now, there's our files in the subdirectory. Photos and documents. Holy shit, we did it. All right, so now we have the files, and that was, and I think my suspicion's right. I don't think, and maybe this is what it is. Maybe you can't have, maybe you can't have loaders inside. That actually makes sense that you can't have loaders in subcomponents, right? Because so like let me illustrate this. So we have this this home route here, right? And this component, I should say, right? And this component is mapped to our router, okay? It's the index under the layout, right? So we got a layout for the nav bar, and then we have an index, right? But if we put, and then this loader function here, right, is like a get for that route, okay? And I don't think we can put loaders in subcomponents. Like, so we have this drive navigator, which is a subcomponent that's rendered underneath home. So even if it's being rendered in the route, I have a suspicion that you can't put loaders or actions inside of components that aren't routes themselves or aren't tied to a route. Right? I could be wrong, but I think that's how that works. And then the documentation didn't fucking tell me that. I had to figure that out through trial and error. But I think that's how that works. I'm almost certain that's how that works, based on my investigations here. Right? So yeah, so all right, so that works. And then so what I can do is I can pass the files to the drive navigator. And then we need to return the user files, right? As a multiple. I'm gonna do this. Because we're not setting this. So we'll say const files equals as user, and then files, file list. Wait, what's the problem here? Loader data as, or do I even need to do this cast anymore? Oh, it's still going to give me shit, isn't it? Oh, because the user type is all fucked. Wait, what? Did we import the file type, I wonder? Ah, we didn't. Okay, that's part of the problem. So we need to import the file type. Okay, that should have fixed it. Good. Okay. So if user, set off user, okay, then that's fine. So, and files and loading. Okay, so we need to make sure we have the files, right? And then now that the drive navigator can get access to the files, we can do, files.forEach thing here, file, and then we can render out like return file dot name, or wait, what would we return it as? Does it have a name? Oh, I may not even given it. Let's just do the path. File.path. Oh wait, what's the problem here? Type void is not assignable to type React node. It shouldn't be void, bro. What? Well, actually, first, okay, fine. Before we do that, let's just console log it to see what it even is. Because maybe it's some bullshit. It should just be a list of these, which I don't know why I can't iterate through though. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. So if we get this, there. So there's our files. Okay, so we have our created at documents and our photos. Okay, so they're there. So I don't know why I can't for each that sucker. Files dot for each file turn, yeah, file dot path. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this. Why is this type void though? It's not. User files. What the hell? React router for each. Oh, it's a dot map maybe. Is it map? Shouldn't be. ESLint loader. Oh, this isn't old. Get all routes as array. For each on array in component. Let's just do React. Maybe there's something in the syntax I'm missing. Yeah, function h1 value. Oh, maybe you do need to use map. Okay, so yeah, maybe you do. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, so let me have a map here. Can we not? Okay, so we need to define the callback function. File, and then we'll just do file.path. Maybe. Does that work? Aha! I got it. Documents and photos. Okay, so then let's actually make this better. Let's do it like this. God, this is a mess. Why is this the way it is? Okay, and return. So what we'll do is we'll return a div in here, and then we'll put the file.path inside. Oh, yes. Yes. We got our files. Okay, so let's get rid of this user thing. This username here. So there's our there's our files that are inside of the root directory. Oh, each child should have its own key prop. Okay, so we'll just say key is equal to file path. That's fine. Okay. Nice. All right, so where do we go from there? So we got the files from the root. So that now the tricky part is to see what current directory we're on, right? So I don't know how to keep track of that, actually. So we need to think about how to do that. So we can actually, so we got the file. So let's see. Define query to return a list of files inside a given directory file. That we did do that, okay? See if other props can be loaded in a component that are not from the loader. I don't think this is true. I'm going to put this on hold so I have that. So let's see. Create view to view contents of directory file. Bare bones UI, just enough to see the contents. We already kind of did that. But I guess I could make it like a little better. The other thing we need to keep track of is the keep track of current directory the user is in, right? And we're going to make this a P0 because it is important. So I think, or figure out a method or strategy to keep track. Okay, because we can do this in multiple ways, right? I don't know. Because we're in the root directory, right? But I'm just passing it the root directory here as a default. So I wonder then if from the request, we can get it from the request. Right? Because we have our loader with a request, which should have the URL, right? So let's do, okay, so I have an idea here. So what we can do is we can create another subfile underneath the documents just to test, right? So that's what we'll do next. Cool. All right, we're cooking. I think we're cooking finally. That was about time. Actually, while I'm on this, I'm gonna commit this before I forget. So we're gonna say ability or write query to fetch file contents based on directory. From directory, I guess. Included middleware in our query in its own file function, or a row query in its own function, loaded through the root route in loader. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, nice. Cool. All right. Let me see if I... Sorry, I might be needed. We'll see. Might need to end stream early, but we'll find out. C840, yeah, okay. We'll see. Either way, I think I can do another like half session. Next stream when? Tomorrow evening, Catan. So yeah, and then after that, I usually release the schedule. So if you want to join the Discord, actually, you can hop in the Discord if you want to see the schedule and you're curious. I usually release the schedules every Sunday, right? So I start the week on Sunday and then end on Saturday. So tomorrow I'll be live at 7 p.m. again, same time as today. And then I think I'll probably be live Sunday in the afternoon or the morning. And then I don't know what my week looks like yet. It depends on my girlfriend's work schedule, and she doesn't get that until tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I have that there. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna skip the ending of this break and get started here. I just want to do. I'm gonna do another 10 minutes. I think. Can I like change this? I wonder. Use template. No, that's not what I want. All right, I'm just going to go until this is roughly 15 minutes, guys, because I got to go pick my girlfriend up. So I'm just going to do this for another 10 minutes just to tie up loose ends here. See if I can make any progress on keeping track of the current directory, right? And then if I can't, then that's fine. So I think we could even store that. I don't know if it would be advisable to have that as a state, because part of me thinks no, but I don't. Set off user. Oh, you know what? I'm getting user from there. I don't even think I need this state anymore, to be honest with you. Do I even need this anymore? I don't know. Because I should do in this case, I should do auth user. Cost auth user is use state user. String loss. What's wrong with this then? Expected type from property user is declared. It's probably a typing thing. The files work, so whatever. I'll just leave it the way it is. I probably don't need to do any of this use effect stuff, to be honest with you. But I'll leave it for now. I'm not going to get worried about that. Let's do another, let's see, reevaluate auth user state in home route and refactor if needed. I'm just going to add that as a task here. I'm going to make it P1 because it's not like absolutely critical, but you know, it's kind of important. Okay. So we got our things here. So the other thing we need to do is we need to get the request URL, right? So let's get the request URL from, okay, so then let's see, React router params, right? React loader params. I don't know what the params are. Like what's the type on this thing anyway? Which you use to read the URL. So I guess it'd be const path is equal to request.url. Well, actually, let's just see what the URL even is. Because we might need to do a bit of cleaning on it, right? Did it print anywhere? Program reload, localhost 5173. Okay, so then I want to trim off the localhost 5173, right? So I can do, let's do like, let's write another utility. So we'll say parse file URL .ts. Okay, this is stupid. and then we'll be given a URL that's a string, and then we'll just return. Just so that I don't have to write this the same time a million times, right? We'll return the URL, but I need to subtract it from that initial localhost. So I need to trim based on a trim prefix. Let's see, JS trim string based on prefix. Remove prefix from string. I just forget how to do this. There's a way of doing this. List of strings. Oh, dot replace. Okay. So dot replace. We'll just replace the HTTP : / localhosts. Now this won't work. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the whatever's in my env here. I guess it'd be better off URL. Whatever. I'll just do this for now. Process.env.getter. Do I need to import .env? No overload matches its call. Oh, I see. Okay, because it might be undefined. Okay, so that's fine. HTTP : / localhost / Okay. That's not the most ideal method, but that's fine. So this should just work, right? And now I don't even need to do it. I can just have this just on one line here. Okay, parse file URL. So now what I can do is I can say parse file URL and then get the request URL in there, and then import that guy. And then so now this should be just the slash, right? Yeah, perfect. Is this a developer who's actually coding, not using AI? I can't believe my eyes. Yep. Yeah, you should be able to, Sneezy. I don't know if you're happy or upset about that, but that's kind of what we're going for. Okay, so that works. So we have the request URL. So then if I go to documents, then it probably won't. Okay, so then let's get the URL here. So actually, I'll just paste this into this. So get files in directory that. Okay, so files.map is not a function that broke for some reason. Oh no, it didn't. Okay, so we're fine. Never mind. We're good. Okay, so we have our documents and photos. So now if we go to documents, there's nothing in documents, right? Yeah, because it couldn't be found. Although, I need to, I think, maybe deal with that in the router too. Because any sub route that's not protected like that. So I might actually need to change what this index is, because I might need to make it like drive or something like that, because making it the root route is not gonna be a good idea unless or do I want to do it like Google Drive, where like the route here is like the file ID, because each file has an ID, right? So I don't know. Of course I can. I'm relieved to see someone learning fundamentals and understanding their code. Nothing wrong with AI though. Yeah, I agree. I agree largely with that take, Sneezy. I think AI is just fine if you use it carefully and you're not reckless with it. No, yeah, that's kind of what I'm about here, is learning the old-fashioned ways, quote unquote. And again, it's not a rejection of AI as much as it is just wanting to, having a passion for learning and wanting to, be a good software developer. The ID would be nice in the URL. You can share links to others. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking of doing. So I'm actually going to write that down because I had multiple things that I was kind of rather than navigating through. Yeah. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm creating a file system from scratch, essentially. Like I have a schema for it. It's kind of based on Linux, I guess, sort of. But it's like a file system where you have like files have an ID, a path, and then a level, which is important, whether or not they're a directory, and then they're tied to a user. So basically what this is like it's like a Google Drive clone. I'm making it it's taking a long time, but yeah. So something like this. I'm gonna actually write that down. Am I planning to use S3 or similar? Oh, for database stuff. Yeah, I haven't gone that far yet. Right now it's all local. Because I'm just testing, but if I deploy this eventually, yeah, maybe. That's like AWS, right? Or am I wrong about that? Is it AWS or Google? I don't remember. Okay, so let's just write that down. Let's say requests file based on, or let's see, requests file contents based on file ID. I think that's a good idea. I'm just going to kind of have that in there. I'm just going to put that in my in progress. S3 is cloud file storage, how files are stored. Yeah. Okay, I just didn't know if it was under AWS. Like I didn't know if S3 was a service through AWS or if it's its own standalone thing. I honestly don't know. But I know I've heard of it before. Request file contents based on file ID. And then the other thing with this is, actually, I think that's all we need, right? Because we have this loader. Yeah. I might also need, needs to be configured in router as well. Yeah. Anyway, I know there's still 14 minutes left on the clock, but unfortunately, I've got to run early. I just wanted to finish up that last little thing because I got to pick my girlfriend up from work, and she's waiting for me, so I got to run. But if you want to see more of this stuff in these streams, I would really, really appreciate it if you subscribe and followed along. I'm very, very close to 2,000, which is cool. And you can also join the Discord for stream updates as well. I go live 4 to 5 times a week doing this, learning for like 2.5-ish hours every stream, sometimes 3, and having a lot of fun and trying to grow this community of passionate learning developers. So anyway, without further ado, I guess not even further ado, I'm not starting anything. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. My next stream's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon.